Cars are historically very bad investments. It is said that the vehicle loses about 10% of its value when it drives off the lot, and then about 20% in the first year. How is this the case? This is because automobiles are hugely complicated machines. When they're manufactured, the vehicle starts at 100% of its value. However, even with new vehicles, a slow drive down the street can result in incalculable damage. A pothole bump can tear away the crucial gasket, or a winter's salt can accelerate the rusting process. Although seemingly minuscule, almost any use of a vehicle slowly but surely transforms it from a shiny car on the lot to a hunk of rusty junk. But this sentiment expands far beyond just cars. Once you're able to identify depreciating assets from appreciating ones, the world around you tends to make a lot more sense. Your neighbor with the brand new boat? Sure, it's the talk of the town, but what is the true cost of a boat? Well, boats like cars lose value the second they drive off the lot, or, marina? The thing is, a new boat is expected to depreciate completely from anywhere from 7 to 10 years after purchase. That means after the 10-year mark, you can generally expect for your boat to be worth $100 per each square foot of the boat. That's abysmal, even compared to cars. What about your neighbor's brand new RV? After about 3 years of ownership, your RV is likely to be worth approximately 30% less than when you purchased it. After 10 years of ownership, a Class A RV will depreciate to less than about half of what you paid for it. This puts RVs at about the same as cars, but substantially over boats. With these three out of the way, let's look at some other fringe cases that could substantially break the mold. First off, we have houses. A house is often thought to be a crucial life achievement in addition to being a great appreciating asset. As I write this in July of 2021, home prices have hit all-time highs, and while their growth may, and hopefully will slow down, they serve as an unparalleled way to lock away savings in the form of a physical asset. There are, of course, exceptions to this. Housing prices wax and wane with the economy. On this chart of the U.S. Housing Index, recessions like that of '08 significantly affected housing prices. And according to the National Association of Realtors, the price of existing homes increased on average by 5.4% annually from 1968 to 2009. That said, some of these are apples to oranges comparisons. A house from 2009 isn't exactly the same as a one from 1968. Once we adjust for the fact that houses get bigger over time, the annual rate is about 3.7%. The general rate of inflation during this time was about 4.5%. So here again, homes didn't exactly appreciate faster than inflation. Regardless, compared with rent, where money essentially evaporates from your bank account as soon as you pay it, homes are great avenues to maintain savings so long as you can afford the upfront cost that is exceedingly out of reach for a lot of young people. But that's a topic for another video. Below traditional homes in terms of cost are mobile homes, which offer the perks of home ownership but with a lower price tag. While mobile homes often get a bad rap for their lack of features and the trailer park stigma, these houses, when built on bought land, can actually appreciate similarly to regular homes. The home index price for manufactured homes, or mobile homes, featured an average growth rate of 3.4% versus the 3.8% for traditional site-built homes. That said, mobile homes can be more difficult to sell, are susceptible to predatory loan practices, and have a lower long-term value as compared with traditional homes, which are built to last longer. The same sentiment can generally be said for mobile homes' trendier brother, tiny homes. That said, from what I can find, there's no long-term data on the appreciation or depreciation of these assets. With these tiny homes, it largely depends on a couple factors. One being the area that the tiny home is in, pretty similar to a neighborhood for a traditional home, and the other being where it kind of stands on the spectrum of RV to site-built home. Cheaper on-wheel tiny houses are similar to RVs, while foundation homes appreciate similar to site-built homes. And finally, one other trendier purchase, which is electric cars. In its latest report, IC Cars says that electric cars in general experience far higher depreciation after 3 years than conventional cars, 52% versus 39.1% for sedans, 39.7% for SUVs, and 34.3% for trucks. However, Tesla vehicles have outperformed the market, the Model S depreciating around 36.3% at the end of 3 years, while the Model X depreciates at 33.9% over the 3-year period. This is about the same as a traditional vehicle. Not great and not terrible. But according to the study, the Tesla Model 3 depreciates just 10.2% after 3 years, which seems to buck the trend a little bit more when it comes to vehicles. The major depreciation of electric vehicles is the battery. It's like how your phone becomes a piece of crap after 1 year and can't hold a charge anymore, but on a bigger scale. Besides that, however, EVs tend to be simpler on a mechanical level and don't require a single combustion engine to deliver power to all wheels. On average, EVs have 10 times fewer moving parts than their combustion engine equivalents. This makes them less prone to mechanical failure, hence the lower depreciation. So as you can see, transportation and living costs are some of the most impactful expenses in all of our lives, and knowing their longevity can be important while making decisions surrounding them. From what I can tell, a lot of Gen Z and millennials are opting for a vehicle-free life, and the data supports that. Here's an MIT study looking at the generational trends in vehicle ownership, and millennials tend to own less vehicles than Gen X at that age. The study states that the difference between millennials and baby boomers is even more pronounced. This is all to say that the trends are changing, and maybe the poorest generation is actually making financially solid decisions, even if they don't know it. As for boats and campers and other fun toys, sure, they're nice to own, but maybe it's nice to have friends with them. As always, not everything here is set in stone, and they can all vary on a case-to-case basis. These are just the statistics. A rare old collector car can be an appreciating asset, while a house in a bad location can be an utter liability. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like, and if you want more content like this in the future, please hit subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Thank you. This is Hank from Enginomics, and I'll see you next time. Bye.